everybody. Today for math, we're going to be working on problem solving. So we're going to do a couple of problems together as a warm-up, and then you're going to go onto your paper copy or your Google slideshow and do a couple of word problems on your own. All right, so we're going to start with this one. It says, there are 87 leaves in a pile. 38 blew away. How many leaves are left? Okay, so of course, this is a rather simple problem, but just in case we haven't done any word problems in a while, let's get ourselves set up. Let's decide by rereading what the numbers mean, which is the total, which is an addend. So this says there are 87 leaves in a pile, 38 blew away. How many leaves are left? I can tell by looking at this that 87 is the total amount of leaves that we started with. Okay, so if I'm making a math mountain, the total goes at the top. Okay, and 38 is one of the parts, or an addend. That's the number that blew away. Okay, so that goes right down at the bottom. And the number we're trying to figure out is our unknown. That's our other addend. So in order to get our answer or solve and find the answer, we would need to subtract. We're going to start with the total, take away this addend. It's going to leave us with the missing addend. So I'm going to set up an equation. 87 on top, that's our total. Oops. I wrote this wrong. Hi everybody, we're going to do some math now. So we're going to be working on story problems or word problems in math today. We're going to do a couple of them together, and then you're going to do some on your own, either in your slideshow or in your paper packet. So let's take a look first at this one. This says there are 87 leaves in a pile. The wind blew 38 away. How many are still in the pile? So of course, the first thing that we need to do is decide what type of a problem is this? Is it a problem that we can solve using a math mountain or a comparison linear or a different type of a model? And as I'm reading it, I can imagine that there's a total of 87 leaves in a pile. Some got blown away by the wind, and then we are left with some. So I can tell that using a math mountain is going to be a great model for me. So now I need to decide which numbers go where. Like what number is the total? Which numbers are the addends? Let me reread it. It says there are 87, let me circle that so it stands out, leaves in a pile. The wind blew 38 away. How many are still in the pile? Each time I read it, it becomes more clear to me. I can understand it the more times I read it. So I can see that 87 is how many we have all together, or the total. So the total is going to go at the top of my math mountain. I know that 38 is one of the smaller parts, or we call it an addend. So 38 is going to go right down here. And the number that I'm trying to find, or my unknown, is the other addend. Okay, so that's how my math mountain should look. Now I need to solve for my missing addend. I can remember that using the math mountain model, if I start with a total and I subtract one of the addends, I'm going to get the other addend. So my best bet is to set up a subtraction equation with 87 at the top minus 38. I have lined up my 10s and lined up my 1s. I'm going to start by asking myself, can I do 7 minus 8? And the answer to that is no, because 7 is smaller than 8. So I'm going to need to ungroup my 8 10s. Cross off my 8. Now I have 7 10s. I'm giving my 10 1s to the 1s place. 10 1s plus 7 1s is 17 1s. So now I can do 17 1s minus 8 1s. That gives me 9. And I can do 7 10s minus 3 10s. That gives me 4. So my answer of how many are still in the pile is 49, and the label would be leaves. Okay, let's do another problem now. This one says, Drew had some pencils. His friend gave him 19 more. Now he has 52 pencils. How many did Drew have to start? Okay, so I'm going to reread this and kind of circle my important numbers so we can have a better understanding. Drew had some pencils. Now I know that the word some is not a number, but it stands for a number that we don't know yet. So we're going to need to come back to that word some and find out what that number is. So I'm putting a question mark there because we need to find the answer to that. His friend gave him 19 more. Now he has 52 pencils. How many did Drew have to start? So that's why I put a question mark here. Our question is, how many did he start with? That's the number that's missing. So we need to start by asking ourselves, like what type of a problem is this? Is it a missing addend problem? Is it a missing total problem? Is it a comparison? And I can see here that it says now he has 52. So that's telling me that the total is 52. His friend gave him some, that's 19, and then he has the sum that he started with. So those are addends. So I would say this is a missing addend problem, which means that we can use a math mountain as our model to solve it. So I'm going to start by putting our 52 at the top. That's our total. It's how many he has now. We know that he started with some, but we don't know how many that sum is. So that is our unknown, the sum that he started with. But we also know his friend gave him 19. Okay, so that's our other addend. So in order to solve this, what I'm going to do is start with the total. I'm going to subtract that addend, and I'm going to get the missing addend. So I'm going to start with, actually, let me just put it down just a little bit lower. I'm going to start with my total minus the addend that I know. And I'm going to start by asking myself, can I do 2 minus 9? And I cannot, because 2 ones is a much smaller number than 9 ones. So I'm going to head on over to my tens. I'm going to ungroup my 5 tens. Now I only have 4 tens, but I have 10 ones because I ungrouped. I'm going to give those to the 2 ones, and now I have 12 ones. I know I can do 12 ones minus 9 ones, so my answer to that is 3. And 4 tens minus 1 10 is 3. So my missing addend is 33, which means that Drew started with 33 pencils. His friend gave him 19 more, and now he has 52. All right, now the last part of this math lesson is that you're going to start with an equation, and you are going to be the one to actually make up the story problem or the word problem to go with it. So let's do this one together. Then you're going to be doing this on your own in just a few minutes. So this one says 31 plus 27 equals. So what you're going to need to do is think about a little story that goes along with it. So I can see that we have 2 addends, and we're going to add them up to find the total. What I like to do is think about a character that I want to use. I guess I'll use Maya. So why don't I start by saying Maya. Okay, and then I need to think about what do I want Maya to have or to do. And I think I know that Maya really likes eating candy, so I could use candy as like the objects. In fact, she really likes gumballs. So why don't I tell a story about how Maya ate 31 gumballs on one day and 27 gumballs on another day, and I'll ask a question of how many gumballs did Maya eat altogether. Here I go. Maya ate 31 gumballs on Monday and 27 on Tuesday. Okay, so that's taking care of our two add-ins. Now I need to ask the question. How many gumballs did Maya eat all together? Or I could say in all or in total, because it is an addition problem. So I'm finding the total. That's my missing add-in or my unknown. Okay, so I'm actually going to try to solve this. So because I'm curious. How many did she eat in all? That's probably too many. I know that for sure. So I'm going to do 31 plus 27. Okay, it's an addition problem. 1 plus 7 is 8. 3 plus 2 is 5. So my answer is 58, and my label would be gumballs, but I kind of ran out of room. All right, so Cardinals, when you are done watching this video, which is over right now, you're going to go onto your Google slideshow or onto your paper packet, and there's a math page for you to do 2 problems where you are solving word problems, and then there's 1 problem where you are writing your own word problem. I know you're going to do awesome at it. Okay, have a great day, guys.